Welcome everyone to the European Cybersecurity Hub. My name is James Wilmot, and on behalf of Forum Europe and EXO, the European Cybersecurity Organization, we're delighted that you have taken the time to join us today. We have people joining from across Europe, the US, China, and other parts of the globe, and you're all very, very welcome indeed. We've a really packed program for you starting this afternoon and running through until lunchtime tomorrow. And you can find full details of all the sessions, the times and the speakers in the agenda section somewhere above me here on the website. And because we've got so much content, we've designed the platform so that if you can't make any of the sessions, or if you prefer to watch them later, they'll all be available as soon as they're complete as replays on this website. You'll be sent by email all of the links and details for these replays at the conclusion of each of the day's proceedings. But if you have any questions on this and how to access them, please just get in touch with us. In terms of how you can get involved, you will notice that beneath this feed there is a comment section, and this is and there's one of these under each of the debates, and you're all free to start to place your comments and questions here, and the team will be passing these through to the moderators for the various discussions as we move through the day. We're not going to be moderating this comment section, so I'll rely on you to be civil and to keep your comments constructive. We're also going to be monitoring Twitter for comments and questions, and the hashtag for the event is Cybersecurity Hub. So when the idea of this event was first conceived, we spoke with a range of stakeholders about what it was that was important to cover right now. And firstly, COVID-19 and the impact it's having on the way we work was the obvious place to start. But we've built the program with COVID being implicit in all the discussions, as opposed to being explicitly repeated across the program. And that isn't to play down its prominence, in fact, quite the opposite. But this approach is more about having COVID as a thread that will run through all of the discussions, while at the same time allowing space for other issues, however interlinked with COVID, to emerge. And that includes discussions around the importance of Europe continuing to build up its own digitally competitive ecosystems, while not turning away from the vital role that global cooperation plays, particularly around cybersecurity. So we'll drill down into some of the detail around cybersecurity supply chains. We'll analyze the 5G toolbox. We'll also debate what digital sovereignty should perhaps look like. We'll shine a light on some of the emerging technologies and trends that are changing the nature of cyber attack and defense. And also look at the cyber industry, which, like all sectors and industries, needs to develop a workforce that has the skills required to deliver, but one that also better reflects the society in which it operates through greater inclusion and diversity. So, as I say, there's much to get through. I'd like to thank all of the speakers for taking the time to join the discussions. From the business side, we have representatives from major European businesses such as Indra and S21sec, through to global multinationals such as Huawei, Deutsche Telekom, Microsoft and Orange. And from the policy and regulatory side, we have ENISA, we have the European Commission, we have BEREC, BMI in Germany, we have the European Parliament, just to name a few. So we're really proud and humble and honored, and my own experience, and I know that I'm not alone in this, of working from home has been to feel almost busier than ever, in fact. So there's certainly no assumptions on our part that accepting to speak was straightforward, and I know that many have adjusted their diaries to make room for this cyber hub. So again, very much appreciated. So to kick off, and perhaps a little less traditionally, you now have the choice of either attending the discussion on cybersecurity and SMEs, or the session taking place at the same time on cyber ranges. These will both be starting as soon as I finished here. And as I said earlier, all of the content is immediately available upon the session's conclusion as a replay, so you can watch again at your leisure. And where we do have parallel sessions, you can catch up on what you missed later on. So a few very, very final brief comments on the agenda. Once the 1315 to 1400 sessions are complete, the parallel sessions, then you can navigate to the keynote speech that will be delivered by Thomas Jerstich from, he's the CSO from Deutsche Telekom. And we'll then have a 10 or 15 minute break, and then we'll reconvene with what promises to be a fascinating conversation on how the European market for cybersecurity can be expanded. We'll then move straight on to the next session, looking at Europe's 5G toolbox, and then conclude with a keynote from Despina Spanu, who's the head of cabinet for the Vice President of the European Commission, Margaritas Schinas. So, without further ado, I will now invite you to navigate to the agenda page, where you can select the next session that you'd like to attend, and which will be starting in a minute or two. So I'll see you a bit later, but for now, I wish you fruitful discussions and an enjoyable cyber security hub. So thank you very much.